Good morning and welcome back. We are on day 172 of our year's walk through the Bible. We're looking at the Psalms at the moment, and we are now today looking at the royal and the messianic Psalms. And for our example, I'm using Psalm 45, and I'm quoting from verses 1 to 11 and 16 to 17. My mind is filled with words of beauty as I write a song for my King. Like the pen of a skilled scribe, my tongue is ready with this verse. Sir, you are the best looking of men and a skilled orator. God has always blessed you. Mighty King, put on your sword. How majestic and glorious you are. In your splendor, ride on to triumph, defending justice and truth. Your power will win you great victories. Sharp are your arrows, piercing your enemies to the heart. Nations fall at your feet. Your kingdom is God's gift. It will last forever. You rule your people justly, loving goodness, hating evil. That's why your own God has chosen you and anointed you with more happiness than any other king. Your clothes are fragrant with myrrh and aloes. Musicians entertain you in ivory palaces. Among the ladies of your court are princesses, and by the right side of your throne stands the queen, dressed in gold. To her I say, you are the king's bride, so please hear my words. Put your parents and your family behind you. You are so beautiful, the king will desire you. He is the one you must now obey. You, my king, will have many sons to succeed your forebears as kings. Because of you, they will rule the world. This song will keep your fame alive perpetually, and everyone will praise you forever. Well, this morning we're looking at that group of psalms that comes to mind concerning royalty and the Messiah. Back on day 36, we saw an early example, Psalm 24, attributed to King David himself. If David did indeed write it, then it makes his own kingship very much secondary to the real kingship which belongs to God. Human kings are sinners like the rest of humanity. Only God's sovereignty can be perfect. That's what Jesus thought too, when he told Pilate that his kingdom was not of the earthly kind. David was aware of his own imperfections, as we see in a number of the Psalms attributed to him. For instance, you might like to look up Psalm 32. So, if the only real king or Messiah is God himself, then what is the function of an earthly king of Israel or Judah? Well, actual kings are expected to do their best to do God's will, to be the shepherds and guardians of their people. And as we have seen, plenty of kings of Israel and Judah were judged to have failed in their task by those who wrote their histories for us. In good times, kings might be praised and adored, as this one is in today's reading. He does seem to be too good to be true, however, so I would guess that these gushing phrases would be the kind of thing that might be suitable at best for a coronation or a royal wedding, reminding the king what a good king should be like. This kind of idealized king is also the kind of king the people would pray for when the country was going downhill, battles were being lost, and the land occupied by foreigners who do not know God. This kind of longed-for king is called a Messiah. And the Greeks had a word for Messiah, and it was Christ. At the time of Jesus, the Jews were hoping and praying for a Messiah who would win their battles for them and drive the hated Romans from their land. The Christians believed that what God actually sent was not that kind of Messiah, but a different kind, one who would fulfill the mission of Israel to the whole world in quite an unexpected way. Instead of coming as a regal and military hero, he came as a suffering servant, such as Isaiah had described. And his saving power was not political or military, but gracious and forgiving. You might look at Psalms 24 and 45 to see this kind of thing. Other psalms of a royal character are Psalms 18, 20, and possibly 110, all attributed to King David himself. Well, now, yesterday we looked at an example of a communal lament in the book of Psalms. And today we've looked at a messianic or a royal psalm. Tomorrow we will have an example of an individual's sorrow, the sorrow of an exiled priest. And we will find what he wrote in Psalms 42 and 43. And I'll see you tomorrow.